Hey guys, welcome back to another Roblox little scripting video. So I'm gonna get straight to the point, because it's gonna take a while to explain them all, like a bit longer than all my other videos. So first, let me play I'll do a demo for you guys. Watch the previous video. Before this video on a full demo. Though I just added a few things. From that video to from that video to this video. So I added the data wipe. Like before, there's two slots. You can pick two different data file. Somebody should load the data wipe and watch the previous video if you want to know how to see the full demo of the whole thing of it saving and loading. So typically I have a data right here. So I'm gonna do is leave the game and play it. I'm going to explain this in a way that I want to explain it to somebody. Like I'm gonna explain this video in a way that I'm explaining it to somebody who knows Lua, because it'll get a bit complicated. So I'm gonna wipe that data, cleared. All right, so I get that. Um, um, and I get the blueprint. So now I have a new slot, so it wipes. So I did that data wipe, and of course you can get the auto build, like that. All right, just like that. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Watch the previous video if you want a full demo of it saving and loading. I just added the data wipe for this one. I think something else, but I'll let you mess around with it. Alright, so in this video I want to explain to you how to add new slots or new plots, maximize the amount of items they can place or limit it, how to, if you want to make a larger plots, how can you do it, and how to add new data files, and how to add furnitures. Those are the main components that you really need to know, because it's really simple on how this works. You just need to know, you just need to worry about how to add those stuff, so it can be part of your game. All right, so the main thing you first need to know is how it saves. So these scripts are the hardest one to explain, but I'm going to explain to you guys because it's back and forth, like buttons getting pressed, fire the event, then call it here, and all that stuff. All right, so okay, so the data stores are slot 1 main, slot 1 storage, slot 2 main, slot 2 storage. So in slot 1 main, so we get a normal data store. Slot 1 storage, same thing, a normal data store. This slot 1 storage, however, saves leader stats called plot data 1 storage, plot data 1 storage. And slot 1 main saves a leader stats called plot data 1 and plot data 1. And vice versa for the second file, plot data 2, plot data 2 storage, plot data 2 storage. Alright, so there's that. Okay, so the main things is how does it work? So when you join the game, if you take a look at the leader stats itself, you can see how it works. So right here, so there's plot data 1 storage, plot data 2 storage, and of course the normal leader stats is just the cache in the storage folder. That shouldn't even be there, but anyways, okay, so so in plot data 1, you see that this is plot 0 to 100. It when you place the furniture, it finds a one that hasn't been used yet and puts the furniture's data in that plot. And when you load it, I'll call that, and then I'll call that to serialization. You save it to serialization. The Json encode. In the string box, I'll put like the position, the C frame of the part, on the name of the part, name of the furniture really. Then when I call it, when the player rejoins, I call that, then clone that furniture name from the furniture list in our bucket of storage and place it in the exact same C frame position relative to the plot, the grid size itself. So that's how it saves and loads. So typically, in a way, I'm saving the furniture, like its data, its properties, its C frame, its name, and pretty much it. C frame, its name. Alright, so that's that. Plot data 1 storage, same thing, slot 0 to 100. However, the only difference is it only saves the things that you don't want to use, the furniture that you don't want to use. So if I was placing furniture and I want to not use it and just put it in storage, store it, I'll select one that hasn't been used yet, and it'll store the data or the furniture name of the. It won't save the C frame, it'll just save the furniture name because you don't really need that because you didn't place it. So it'll just store the furniture name, and then it'll get loaded into the storage scrolling list, scrolling frame, and then you can just click on it. Then you can go back to placing it. Which once you place it, it'll pick a spot here. So if you're making this game, and if they reach 100 plots, like 100 furniture placed, they can't place anymore. Vice versa to the plot data 1 storage. In storage wise, if they reach 100 storage, they can't place anymore. So that's these two are the file data 1. These two are the file data 2. So let me just think there's something here. Game player storage number of leader stats. Well, yeah, this one you didn't need that here. All right, you'll get the game like this, so you know where everything is placed. So I won't do a model for you guys. You can just edit the game itself. All right, so there's that. Yeah. So if you want to add a new data file, all you have to do is first you're going to duplicate this. Call this one slot 3 main. Sorry, I think I'm a bit sick. Slot 3 main and slot 3 storage. Okay, so there's that, and of course you're gonna change that to plot data. This one doesn't really matter its name. Only those two is for organization, so you know which one to edit. So there you go. So in this one, you're gonna do is change that to plot main, plot data 3. Change that to plot data 3. Then change this to plot data 3 storage. In here you're gonna change this to plot data 3 storage, plot data 3 storage, and here you're gonna change it to plot data 3, plot data 3. So just like that, you created a new data file. A new data file. Make sure you change this name to like slot 3 data, and this one to slot storage 03, so you don't corrupt the file and mix it up. Okay, so there's that, and there's that. Okay, yeah, just you need to know. So now let's delete this because I don't want you guys confused. All right. So now, how do you add more furniture slots? Like how much? Like you can limit how much you can place and how much you can store. That is changed through the max plot this two values, these two. So if I put 500, it will create 500 different slots. Same thing for storage, 500 different slots. So if you want people to place more or make it infinite in how much they place, just change this to like a high number, like 1,000 and 1,000. Don't make it like 99,000. They'll break the game, or they'll break something really. Because just be reasonable in how high you put this. So I'll just put it to default 100. But that's typically how you change it. So if you change it here, make sure you change it also here, so they're the same, 100, 100, 100, 100. So that's how you do the saving wise, the saving portion of the placement plot system. All right, so now to the main things. When you select a file, so that is through data selection GUI right here. It's typically just 2 buttons and a white file and a text label. So this whole data, so let's start with data 1. So there's a local script here, and when you click on it, I will change the claiming to data plot value to plot data 1, since you're selecting the data file 1 is plot data 1. The data file 2 is plot data 2. You make a third file that's called plot data 3. So when you click this in this button, it changes the claiming here, the data file, into plot data 1, plot data 2, plot data 3. Because when you click on in those stands in the plots, when they claim it, they're gonna get this value, the data plot value right here, and change these are how the plots are organized like that. They're gonna change this plot data grid to that plot data, so they can access the data store, so they know which data store they have to access. In a way, you understand that? Okay, and of course, they're also gonna use this when for the furnitures. When you place them, the furnitures will have a little variable called data slot, so they know which data store to access. Because when you click on the furniture, they need to know which data storage they have to put in. So if this is plot data 1, and in the script when they click on it, it will look for players that plot data 1 storage and save that furniture to there. That's why the names is very crucial in when you're naming these. That's why it's like plot data 1, then plot data 1 storage, because it does this when you like because I'm using this format a lot. It's like called, it's like player dot, let's just call it like slot dot value dot storage. I'm using that kind of data. Like I'm getting the data value, the one that I save into the furniture, and just write storage. That's how I search it. That's the method I know how I search it. All right, so there's that. Um, the wipe file, it's not really hard. So just click on it, then fire wipe data wipe to the server. Then of course it's called through the main plot here, not the main plot, main placement. Call it, get the data, find that data, find the data, the plot data, and the plot data storage, and typically just wipe them out. Just get every value and make them equal to nothing. Flex table. Um, this is the one that just shows the data size, the data file size right here. All it does is really just checking the plot data, the data store for that plot data, and see how much values has something on them, how much values are not equal to nothing. In other words, in translation, that means how much how much furniture you have placed in your plot. That's pretty much it. That's how it works. So yeah, that's the same thing for here. Same thing. Yeah, all the same thing. You just need to change the plot data 1 to plot data 2. So when you make a third file, which is the only when you're making a new file, these are the only things you need to worry about. You just duplicate it, then call it data 3. Change this to plot data 3. Change this to plot data 3, and change this to plot data 3. Those are the two. So when you make a new data file, you just change the ones in the data store, make a new ones, and make a new button here. I think that's all you need to know. That's all you need to do. Everything else is done automatically for you. Alright, so that's out of the way. So the next thing you need to know is the plot claiming itself. So you see how there's a button here claiming. Those are done through the surface GUIs, and I don't need them to the part. So now I can show you I'll explain this. I can show you how to add a new plot. So say plot one thing. Plot one is like this one right here. Okay, so when they click on it, which is the button right here, this is a loop. That just changes its text. So if it's claimed, it'll just change its text to the person who claimed its name to Pokecedgo's plot or Bob123's plot. It just changes to that. If it's not claimed, it just changes back to claim. Okay. What else? Alright, so when they click on it, it'll check if the data plot value does not equal to nothing. That means you selected a file already. That's why you need this. That means you already selected a file. Therefore, you can claim a plot. So it will check if the plot itself in workspace, the plot owner value equals nil. That means it's not claimed, and the claim value here is equals false. That means you didn't claim a plot yet yourself. So once that's those if statements, the exceptions are passed, it'll fire a replicate remote event called claim. You're firing the name of the plot. You're firing the data plot value. That means the data store, which file you used, and yeah, that's it. And of course, change the claim by equals true, so you can't use another plot ever again. So you can only choose one plot at a time in each server. So yeah, so you're calling the claim value. So that would be right here. All right, so you got that. You get the plot. You get the data. So you're gonna find that plot in workspace. So workspace, find first child, which plot you selected, which is that plot data, which you fired. So it was plot two. Okay, plot two. Change plot owner into the name of the player or your name if you were the one who selected plot two, and change the plot data grid value to the data store value you choose or the file you chose, which would be plot data 1 or plot data 2. That's typically how it works for each one of them. Same thing for each one. Instead, fire the same things. Just fire the same different names. Plot 1, plot 2, plot 3. Yeah, that's all it works. That's self-explanatory. Um, what else? What else? All right, we can get into the. Oh. Where's okay, the loading. So so there's two values here, the plot and the plot. So first of all, the UI change. So when you click on my website, when you click a file data file, um this this value, once you like select a plot, this value is changed to true. And the second it's changed, this one connects in a function, that means something changed. If that value equals to true or does not equal to nothing, really. Not this one. If it equals to nothing, that means you selected a plot. Now this loop typically checks if first did you have anything in that data file. That means you already placed something. That means you're not new to the game. If you're new to the game, that means you have nothing. That's the goes check. If you do have something, I will change the text button into visible equals true. That means you have something. That means you have to load your data. That's typically the entire script right here. If you do not have something, that's where this one comes in. So if the script that parent that plot value equals to nothing, and script that parent that load plot that visible equals false, that means if this one doesn't turn on, that means you're not a new. That means you are a new player. Because if it was on, that means you already had data, which you do not. And script the parent that plot value does not equal no, and script the parent that dot plot value equals false. That means if you have something, this one changes the dot plot value equals to true. That means you do have data. That means this does not turn on. So that means all these things are passed. Fire the give tool event. Same thing when you load. That means if you do have data, that means the load plot will be visible equals true. When you click on it, it'll fire serialize and give tool. This serialize event is an important one. It's the method. The second this one is called, it decodes the JSON, which I'll explain in a moment. So give tool does the give tool. The give tool itself is right here. Typically, it just gets the blueprint tool and gives it to the player in his backpack. That's all this. Now, the load plot itself. So serializing. So fire remote event called serialize, and I call it in the main placement. Main plot. Sorry. Where is it? Where's serialize? Sorry. Serialize. It's not even here. Hold on. Why is not serialize? The load script should be right. Where is it? No. Not that one. Here we go. Just ignore all the comments I put because it took a while to understand how it works. So you call it, you have the plot and the data. The plot as in which plot you chose, and the data you chose, which is the data like plot data 1, plot data 2. Yeah, those are two different data. So that's the plot you chose and the data file you chose. First, you get plot selected. So you get the workspace plot from plot. So you just find the plot itself. So you just accessing which plot you chose to the data that was fired. First is the next it finds the part called plot main in your data store. So it's clarifying first child data, which is the data you chose, the data file you chose, so plot data 1, plot data 2, then plot main. It gets the plot main string value. Because that plot main value is that value itself. Out of the 100, that's like 101 value, but that value is the one that saves the C frame of the not C frame. It saves which plot you chose. It saves the if you were placing, if you chose plot 1 and you were placing, the second you place something, that plot main value changes to its value to plot 1. So when you reload the game, if you select a different slot, it'll know that you didn't. It'll change that plot main value to slot 2. However, it'll do some few math. It'll fire everything. It'll load everything in, then move it to slot 2. If you understand that. Yes, it's a method that I did, but I'll explain to you how it works after things somewhere here. So that's just plot main is for it just saves which plot you chose previously, the last time you joined it. Alright, so if P1 main invalid, that means if the plot main value is not equal to the plot selected. So if you're like I said, if you join the game, you did slot 1, you joined the game, that means this plot now will be like slot 2. If the previous slot does not is not the same as the second slot, it will move the plot selected, which is the entire plot. The plot, the OBJ. The OBJ is the where the furnitures are stored when you place them. So I'll move it into workspace that pass a P1 main value. So the first, okay, plot 2. When you load in the game, you choose plot 2 and you previously selected plot 1. It'll get this, move it to the plot 1 position. Okay, so that's how this song right here it just gets this, move it to the slot 1 position. If you rejoin a game and you selected plot 3 and you last time selected plot 2, they get this and move it to the plot 2 position. So everything's exactly where they are. Then from there you move it to the current slot. Okay, so that's that. So the plot data equals player that find first child data. Okay, just data store. So plot data 1, plot data 2. Just that's pretty much it. Alright, so now it's gonna loop through the plot data. It'll check for everything not named plot main. That means it has to be slot 1, slot 2, slot up to the number of slots you chose to be added. It'll check if the value does not equal nil. That means if it does not equal nil, that means the data has a furniture saved in it. So this is called serializing, and I'm using Json Encode. So I'm getting HTTP service, and I'm gonna encode the x dot value. Okay. Sorry, not encode, decode. Because that means if it's not equal to nothing, that means there's a data inside it. So I'm gonna decode that back to a string value. And then so the furniture will be game the replicated storage the furniture find first child C the fn dot front. C is the string value, that's the data, the one that I decoded, and I did C the fn dot front. So I did that. I know which one to access is because I save it in a dictionary. So if you know what a dictionary is, that's good. Okay, so main placement, right here. So this is how I saved it, so you guys can understand how I'm doing this. So I'm saving it. So and overall I just saved the JSON. So I just JSON encode the entire coordinates here, or the table. But the table itself, dictionary, has two things. First is O and P, the orientation and the position of the part of the furniture, and the name of the furniture, which is saved to coordinates fn fern, which is fern name. So in other words, C fn then fern, which will give you the furniture name. Same thing for C fn, oh no, C O then X, which will give you C O X C O I C O Z, which will give you the orientation of the furniture. Then C P X C P Y C P Z, which will give you the position of the furniture. I just save all of that. In other words, all that is stored in the dictionary or the table, and I save that. So when I load it back in, you just have to have that in mind that the C itself, it's storing all that data. You just need to know how to access it, which is C the fn dot fern. Put parent that into the plot selected obj. Plot selected as in workspace that plots find first child like plot 1 or plot 2 dot obj, which is where everything's stored when you place them. Change the plot value into x dot name the furniture the plot. So the furnitures they have a string value. So when you load that in, it'll change the plot value here to the name of the file of the file. So if I place a furniture, and when I place it, it'll find the plot data 1. It'll find one that is not equal to nothing, and let's say select slot 22. This value right here is changed to slot 22. So I'm just getting. So when I'm loading it back in, I'm typically just getting it and loading in, changing this to slot 22 or slot 23 or slot 42, or in other words, which string value is is the one I'm decoding. It just changes it just makes this value to the furniture's saved data store value, which slot this furniture will save to. Alright, so UCF, C-frame that so CPX, CPY, CPZ, which is the position of the part of the furniture that I saved, and of course the C-frame, the orientation, so C0X, C0Y, C0Z, and after that I just move the part to UCF, which is the position, then I move the part to its orientation, to the way it's like if you place the furniture at a different angle, it'll load it to that angle. It'll turn it to that angle because that's the one I saved. Alright, so that's just how it works. I saved it. I saved the dictionary. Now I'm moving it back in. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then of course I get the furniture and I change every part to can collide equals true because by default all these things has can collide equals false. You can just walk through them. Just it doesn't glitch the player when it plays them. So it gives it like 1 second. Then it makes everything can collide equals true except the center part, of course. So if it's a not equal center part or x is a part. So if you're making a model, if you place like nothing but parts, if you place like a mesh part or a union, make sure you change this to and x is a part or x is a union. So when you load it in, it makes the union x calculated equals false to as well. I mean to true. So it gets affected as well. Because this one only checks if it's a part. Because I'm expecting you to only when you make new furniture, I expect you to only make it all parts, nothing like no unions and stuff. Because this should be straight to the point. But yeah, that just changes everything to x that calculate equals true. The second thing, so like I said, it'll move everything to the previous data file plot position. So if you choose plot 2, it'll move everything, and if you select plot 1, it'll move everything from, it'll move the OBJ where that is going to be stored to the previous plot position, load everything in, then move it back to the position that you chose. So if I chose plot 2, and before I did plot 1, I'll move the entire OBJ was being saved to plot 1, load everything in, and move it back to plot 2. That's exactly how it works. And of course, change the P1 main value because I passed out to that new P1 name as in the plot name right here. That means it's updating it. That means now you chose plot 2 instead of plot 1 previously, or vice versa. Yeah, that's it. And of course, it's just gonna save the new position. So this one is, in other words, this one just updates the position of the string value to the new position. Since you selected a new slot, it's gonna update it. Just gonna update it to the current position as of now. So when you leave the game and load in again, it'll have a new position, a new C frame. Alright, so yeah, that's that. So adding a new plot, simple, super simple. All you have to do is just get this whole thing. Sorry, plot data 3. I'll show you why 1 is larger. So plot data 3, just move it. You can change it to any direction you want. Just name it to plot 5. Make sure it's a different name. You come to claiming, duplicate that, name this to plot 5. Get the adore need, and you just select that, and boom, you have a new slot. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. Now, why is one larger than the other? There's a reason for that, and it's because when you place something at this angle, if you place something in a corner, if you were to load it here, it would be like right here. Everything would be centered, so it will be right there. It goes from each side, so it'll be right there. When you load something in, every furniture is loaded to relative to the grid size. So if you were to make something larger, like if you wanted the players to have larger plots, make sure it's only larger plots, not one large plot and one small plot. I didn't make it like that. So In other words, if you want the player to have small plot only, make sure it's all small plot. In other words, make sure each plot has the same size and one's not bigger or smaller than the other, or mess up the way it loads. At least the position wise, it'll load it. Just if you build something in the big plot and load it back in, it will be in the outside in the small plot. So make sure every plot's the same size, really. And if you want to make if you make it larger, all you have to do is just change the first. First you're gonna move everything, like store it somewhere, because you want to change individually the plot itself. Make it larger, put everything back in. So move everything back in. Then you're gonna go to obj that grid size to change that size as well. I placed a little thing here for you guys when you're making furniture. So this one, make sure when you change the size, make sure the x and z value are even numbers, not odd numbers. It'll just be weird. Just make sure the even numbers. Right now it's 60 to 54, 60 to 58 in grid size. The small one, 60 to 58. This one, if you just place it like long enough, it'll be the same size as the entire plot itself. So when you're making furnitures, use this as reference into how into lengthwise you should build that furniture. All right, so of course you can go past this. You don't have to make it this small. You can even go like just keep adding it. Sorry, this uneven. You can just like keep adding it. Just keep adding it. Yeah. Anyways, that's just pretty much it. All right, so that's that. Um, what else? Okay, the last thing finally that I need to tell you guys. So I explained to you how to add new plots, the rules for making new plots. I'll explain to you how to add new data stores. That's out of the way. Okay, the last thing you need to know. Make sure you just read this, guys. If you have any questions, this is a quick Q&A right here. How to make increasing the storage, making bigger plots, all that stuff. Okay, so the last thing you need to know is the blueprint itself. So the blueprint itself. By the way, guys, I recorded this once already. That's why I'm getting anxious to checking the screen recorder if it recorded or not. All right, so there's that. So the blueprint itself. Let me just enable this. Sorry. All right, so this is the blueprint. Why is it not showing? Here we go. All right, so that's a blueprint. Yeah, so it's gonna be complicated. This is gonna get really complicated. Alright, so first I'm just gonna symbol one, the storage buttons. When you place something, the storage button goes visible equals true. So you have the option to store it. So when you select it, really, first it'll check if the current selected value does not equal to nothing. That means you're selecting something. Just the current selected, by the way, is a scrolling frame. That this string by right here. That means you selected nothing. I mean, you selected something. And skip the parent, the auto build feature equals to false. Go to workspace, destroy the furniture that you're replacing, the one that was following you. Make a new storage template, which is right here. Just change its name to the current selected value. So if you chose a table, it'll change its name to table. Parent it to the scrolling frame. To the scrolling frame. Which is the scrolling frame right there is the one, not scrolling frame, sorry. Yeah, scrolling frame. Yeah. Yeah, it just moves it to the storage, which is also a scrolling frame, by the way. It just moves it to there. Change logo script to disable equals false. That means it's clickable now, whichever that script may be. So storage template logo script. So this one, yeah, it just disables that, which makes it so it gets the furniture from the furniture list and makes this viewport so it look like the furniture in the viewport. Skip the parent that friend is scrolling from the current selected value. So it just resets the core selected to nothing. That means you stored it. That means now you have nothing. You selected nothing anymore, and makes the storage point visible equals false. Vice versa, if it's auto build equals true, it just changes the score selected to nothing, destroy that part in workspace, and just changes to skip the print of equals false. You don't wanna if it's an auto build on, you don't want to remove the you don't wanna remove the I'm gonna say this you only want to store because when you auto build something you're gonna place that continuously. Okay, you just so if you were to store it in auto build equals true, of course that is workspace that was selected, the furniture you chose. Change the scoring frame to nothing and just makes it visible as false. You're not making a new storage template, a new frame, and putting it into storage as of yet because you didn't buy it in a way. Okay, it's hard to explain. Just you need to focus on this part. Just leave this one the way it is. Alright, so the buttons. Okay, there's auto build and currency. This is the one auto build true or false, true or false. This one's getting changed to currency. Make sure you change this to your game currency. If it's cash, change it to cash. If it's money, change it to money. Ruby, change it to ruby. Just change that string value. Alright. Okay. Furniture load. So when you join the game, um, first is the tool itself, I guess, for this one. Alright. I don't know why it keeps moving it like that. Alright, so the tool itself, the blueprint. Where's the blueprint? Alright, so that one right there. So when you equip it, it fires to the client, the blueprint event. You call it in the furniture load, the blueprint right here, you call it, change, then it just makes the, once you equip it, it just changes the frame visible equals true, that means now you can see the blueprint. That's all it does. Alright. Next, it will check for the furniture. On the furniture, which is the what's it called? The furniture. Oh yeah, furniture, children, template, script department, clone, furniture. Okay, so when you add in your furniture here in the shop itself, so the shop is right here. It'll just load in the furniture, its price, and what it looks like. So you can select it and you can select the furniture. So when you add in your furniture here, it'll automatically add it to the shop. Okay, because each furniture has a price. You can change it to whatever you want, 40, 100, whatever you want. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Table, price, and the center part and data slot are the only main things you need to not change, except its values. So don't change this to anything. The only value you should be changing is the price itself, and that's it for the furniture. All right. Yeah, that's it for that. The placement, the storage. So when you store something, when you're already in game and you loaded everything, and you want to store something when you play something, it'll fire to the server. Call that. Um, get the template and just change everything to like the furniture name, the storage, the all that stuff. I think this one is fired when you no yeah this is when you place when you are already loaded in. It'll just call that. It'll get fired and call that here, and just add it to the storage list. The storage loader, however, when you join the game, okay, when you join the game and you already have oh well yeah when you join the game, okay. Sorry, when you join the game, I'll check for if you chose plot data 1, it'll check the plot data 1 storage or plot data 2, plot data 2 storage. It'll check if there's a string value that is not equal to null. That means if it's not equal to null, that means there is a furniture saved in that slot. Therefore, it's gonna load it in, the template and stuff, and load it into the storage. So when you join, it'll already have the storage of the furniture that you saved from the previous time you joined into the game. So that's just how it loads it. Yeah. Last but not things, the buttons are self-explanatory. Of course, when you change this to the storage value, you are changes this to the one that you saved it. The plot data one for this would be the auto build. It just changes this to auto build feature, the bool value to true equals false, or auto build 1 or auto build off. Um, that's pretty much all. That's pretty much it. So when you click the button, just changes this to on and off, true or false. Which tells every other script to which audible feature you're on, so on or off really. Of course, this one just closes it. Nothing much to explain from that. Alright, so the shop itself. So right now there's nothing here because when you're loading it, automatically loads it for you. But this is the template that you're using. The template right here. Alright. So when they click on it, it'll check if the currency value is greater than or equal to the price value. The price value as in the furniture price value. Because when you load in the furniture's price, it'll change this to the price of the furniture. Okay, so it'll check if the player has enough cash or money. If they do, if they do, makes the blueprint visible equals false, so it's not underway. Change the current selected value into the furniture name and change the placement, the blueprint. It'll fire that to the server. Okay, I'll show what that is. Make sure you change this also, by the way, in the template. The currency that you chose. Actually, yeah, change this to the currency that you chose. So if this was changed to money, make sure you change this one to money as well. Um, yeah. There's that on the blueprint, I guess. The blueprint right here, it just subtracts it to the player's cash. So it costs them $20 to 20 money, 20 cash. So then when they buy it, it just removes it from the later sets. Oh my gosh, so much explaining to do. It's really confusing. Just make sure I just hope you watch this video because it's not easy to explain. Nor is it easy to build to script. Okay. The last but not least is the scrolling frame itself. Alright, so when you select a plot when you buy it, this one changes to the furniture name. It will get that. It will change it. That means when second that the string values change, it will get this. So this is the thing that you need to change. The important variables right here. That's the only thing you need to really worry about. Is the max distance. Um, the max distance is how far they are away from you. Max distance, how far they can place it really. The model distance is how far they can move back, and model height is how far they can build up, how far they can build down. So how far they can build up and how far they can build down. These are the things that you need to change. So if you want to change it to they can build higher, change that to a higher number. If you make it so they can build lower, which is I don't suggest only this because you don't want them to build underground. Um, yeah, just change that to lower if you want that. Vice versa, if you want to move it to make me move it like more up than back and forth, you just change these values to like -20, which would make it how far they can move back, and -3, -2. So if you want to make them to build it a bit farther, sorry, a bit further, you change this to like to 20 or yeah 20 to 30 or 40. And of course when they reach that, if you want to move it back to the main position, otherwise just leave this the way they are. Don't change it, just change these two. You don't want to change how far they can move back. It'll look weird. Alright, so that's that. Alright, now here's the hard explanation for the whole thing. Alright. Yeah, you're gonna see the amount of pain. It's hard to explain this, guys. Okay. When this thing is string value, it changes to nothing. First, you're gonna It's gonna check if this is not equal to nothing. So that means there's something in it. So it'll check ongoing equals true. Storage button divisible equals true. So they can store it if they want it. If they want to, they'll go to that build mode, quote unquote. It'll make the storage byte equals to true. Get the furniture from the game that directly storage to furniture list. Clone it. Make this part workspace. Change the icons. Clone that really, and insert it into the. Oh, oh my gosh, to the furniture that was cloned to workspace. All it says here is to move up or to move down. It's a guideline. Get the character of the player, and then a while loop. It'll check if script device equals to nothing. So if it does not equals to nothing, I get the workspace defined for solid script the parent value, which is the furniture. By the way, if you didn't know, it'll make its primary, it'll make its position to workspace definitely menu -1, orient the model distance. So orient is 0, model distance is -3. And of course, orient is changed in this when you press a key. So orient is changed to these two. When you press the R and T key, orient as in how far do you move up and how far do you move down. So when you press R, orient changes to +1, +2, +2, +3. Which is T is orient is moved to 1, 0. It'll only change if it's greater than -1. So if it's at, hold on, actually this is -1. So if it's at 0, if you press T, it won't go down anymore because that's the limit. However, if you press R once, it'll be to 0. Press T again, it'll go back to -1. So just to orient how far you can move up and down. Yeah, there's the thing that makes it follow your character right away. Other than that, if it does not equal to nothing, break the script, or break the loop. Anyway, all right. So that's that. New pause equals to the furniture that's part of the position, which is right here. You're gonna need that. What else? What else? All right, the render step. The render step. So first you're getting the mouse, the unit ray. Then you're gonna get the ray, the direction, the ignore, and the hit and pause. The workspace, the find first ray. You're gonna get that. Okay. Actually, hold on. Yeah, you can get that. All right. So first it'll check if ongoing is true. That means you're creating something. And hit is a part. And find first child of plot owner. So what this is this the thing that makes it so you can only build in your plot and not other plots. It'll check if the plot owner is your name. If it is, it'll get that plot. That means you can build in that plot. Okay. This entire script is just that. It just checks if you can, if it's not your plot, it'll change the furniture color to red. If it is your plot, it'll change the furniture color to green. That means you can build on it or not build on it if it's red. Else if scale the print by equals to nil, it resets everything, makes the button false, change the orient back to its original number, and you pause equals to nil, place it equals false. So this entire loop really, it just makes it so the model follows your character. That's all it does. I continue the R key, the T key, change the orient value. The Z, the X key moves it up and down. Now the E key, first, this thing that place it, by the way. So just the final thing I have to explain. It'll check if space of equals true. It'll check R build equals false. If it's false, fire to the server, place event, then you pause the orient, the model distance, and the name of the script. The parent, the value. Okay, yeah. Fire the script the parent value, in other words, the furniture name, and the plot TD the value. the plot TD, that value, by the way, is the data plot, the data, which data file, which data file you chose. So there's that. Also, if placeable equals true and audible value equals true. So if they have it, by the way, this one just resets it, makes the current selected back to equals zero, but you just select anything and change it and remove the thing in workspace, which is double sided, by the way, the furniture that you were placing, and replaces it with the original one, which everybody can see. If audible was true, I'll get the stat, your cash price and that stuff. I'll check if you have enough money to place another one. If you do, fire the blueprint, which subtracts the money, and fire the place event. And of course, else, if you do not have enough money, I'll change the core selected to nothing, and workspace to find first child. Destroy it. That means if you don't have enough money left, I'll just destroy the. I'll just move you back to scratch one, to the back to the blueprint screen, not blueprint screen. That means you can't place anymore. That's all it does. So this part is, if you don't have enough money, it just does the exact same thing in this part. With if audible was false, that means if you have enough money though, I'll fire the blueprint event, which subtracts the money from the player, and the place event. So okay, I explained all of that. Now is the last but not least how it is placed and how it is saved. Alright, so this one's self-explanatory. Call the event, you get the new position, the position, the orient, the model form, and the data. So the furniture name, the data slot, plot data 1, plot data 2, and the model and orient. I'll clone the furniture, you get the furniture that you selected, goes to the plots, then get children, check which plot you own. So check if the plot owner is to your name, equals to your name. If it is, make the parent exit obj. Like I said, that's where it's stored, the obj. Fern that moved to new, it moves it to that new position. Move to the position that you selected. It says primary part C frame into the. This one just changes to if you have to place the furniture at a certain angle, this just changes that to that angle, which is the model and the orient. Okay. If you were to change this, don't change this to -1, because here it says the -1 as well, right here. If you were to change this to like -2, make sure you change this to -2 as well. All the position will be the exact. It won't be precise. First, after that, it'll check the data. It'll store that furniture into the data store, into a string value. So plot data 1, it'll check for an open slot. So if you did plot data 2, it'll go to plot data 2, check for an open slot, make sure it's not named plot main and it is a string value. It'll store the XYZ position and XYZ orientation in the furniture name. Like I said, dictionary, which explained earlier in the video, saves it in the coordinates and encode it and make the value to JSON. So it's string supportive, the string value. So the dictionary is saved as a JSON. Which you will decode, by the way, which I explained in the previous earlier in the video how it's decoded. There you go, find that. And makes the plot main the value equal to the x.name. X.name as in the plot that you selected. So when you place something, the second you place it, so if you were on plot data 2 and you were on plot data 1 previously, plot data 2, the second you start placing new furnitures, it'll change the plot main value to the plot data 2. That's what it does. And of course, change the furniture that plot the value to z.name, as in the which plot, the which slot you chose in the data store. So slot 22, slot 23, designated to the furniture itself. And this one just checks if this makes everything transparent equals 0. So this one supports it. If it's a UGIT or a mesh part, whatever you do, just change it to 0, 1, then to 0. Besides center part, yeah, that's all it does here. Just makes it visible. Yeah, that's it. I think we're done finally. That's typically the entire system. Oh my gosh, that took so long. Yeah, that's the entire system. Not last but not least. Oh my god, is it moving? Okay. No, last but not least, I'll explain to you the furniture itself. How to add new furniture. So all to do is just get a template right here, like a table. Make sure it's a different name, not the same name. Table like table two, and all you do is make a new name, change this to whatever you want it to look like. Then once you make it all whatever shape you want, whatever that is, you get the center part and you make it the exact same size as the model entirely. You change the price to whatever price you want that furniture to cost, and you just move it back to furniture. That's it. That's how you edit your furniture. See, you can just even make previous models you made, and all you have to do is just have a center part, make sure that's the primary part, change it the size of the model itself, and just add these three values inside it, change the price to what price you want, and move it to your furniture, and you have a new furniture. That's it. Hope you guys this video. Let's have a comment. I'm sorry. Make sure I'm hoping you know the basic scripting because this was really hard to explain for myself. I'm not really good at explaining this hard stuff. But hope you guys this video. Let's have a comment. I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out. Hopefully over time you understand this so you can make this your own. Remember, make sure to read the guide so you don't mess up everything and you have any questions. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Like and comment. I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.